Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Community for All of Us. And tonight, if you like something geek, then you're at the right place because, hey, this is the Geek Central. I have my two hosts also here with me. The one right over here is Solimus44. Hey, Solimus, my man, how you been?
Good, ACP. How you been?
Doing good. And Lord Starscream, that looks like the cult leader in the background. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing perfect.
Doing perfect. All right. Before we get started, since this is the first episode to the podcast, and I think I got everything on my end, or at Nikki's, let me just be honest. Nikki got everything worked out on our end. It is not ACP that does anything computer savvy. That's all my wife. Before we get started, I like people to get to know who we are. I'd like for you to start, Solimus, and then we'll go to you, Lord Starscream, and then I'll come up in the tail end.
All right. Well, I'm Slomus44. I do Transformer reviews here on YouTube. I'm a few away from 200 subscribers. I've been doing reviews for a while. I do also live gameplay on Slomus44 or Twitch Slomus44.
That's right. A gamer. He is a gamer. I've been watching his game. He's actually sucked me into this little world, which made my sister extremely happy when she found out I had my Twitch account. She's like, "Oh my God, what made that happen?" I was like, "Well, it's these two guys that I got to talk to and have as a guest, and they kind of showed me the ropes of what to do." So, what game are you on at the moment?
Predator, Hunting Grounds, and Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, Bioshock. Both of those are good games. But you can't play the Predator. It's only on either PC or PlayStation, right?
It's on PC. Yeah, it's on Microsoft Windows or PlayStation.
Okay. So anybody that has an Xbox like I do, you're just SOL. You're not going to get it. So, Lord Starscream, my man, tell us something about you and where people can find you and what you're planning to do with your channel.
Well, you could find me at Lord Starscream, and I have an Instagram. It's called Lord Starscream. I think it's called Lord Starscream _C53, and you could also find me on TikTok and all that at the same thing, Lord Starscream _C53, and I've been talking to ACP and all that about doing some live streams, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Just going to interrupt for just a moment. It was brought up in the chat just now that there's an echo. I'm not hearing the echo. Are y'all hearing the echo?
No.
Hello? Well, when I speak, I can hear myself like an echo.
Oh, okay.
And I could hear you too. I think, well, for me, you guys are echoing.
All right, so I took mine off mute, so let me do this one. All right, go ahead and talk.
Hello? Testing.
Okay, it's on your side, Solimus. There's an echo coming from your side.
All right.
Look at me. Nikki taught me new tricks. This old dog can learn new things. So,
I guess soon you won't need your rocks anymore.
No, I'll always need my rocks to make fire. And if I'm going to do those 8-hour streams, I got to have my bucket next to me so I can just go right there. Not to leave, nothing. Just keep on going. So,
make sure you mute yourself.
Never. I want you hear this. It's going to be like, don't cross the streams. I'm excited. I did come. I do want to say this real quick. Anyone that's in chat, I do see that some of you have asked if y'all could be a part of this. You can be a guest on here. We do have a joint, which I'm going to be giving to you guys because Nikki got it set up, which is the email, which is for a community for all of us. And also on that, we also are going to have us three as the main host. When I do a live stream, I'm going to make that where if it's just me doing a live stream, I want to put the link out there, kind of make it available for anybody to jump in. But on Mondays, when we're doing it on Mondays, it's just us three guys unless we have a guest, if that makes sense. Am I right about that? Or did I say the right things? I did say the right things, right?
Yeah.
Give me straight. Give me straight. Deluxe says, yeah, I'm telling you, man, learning some new stuff is amazing. But so Lord Starscream, you're actually going to look at trying to do some live streams yourself. You're going to start doing some reviews too, correct?
Yes. I'm thinking about deleting some of the videos I have on there and like starting out fresh and all that. Like the first video I'll do is like introducing my channel and on what I'll be doing, and I'll be doing some reviews and live streams and all that.
And I kind of sucked you down a little rabbit hole with TikTok just recently.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I'm going to follow up. Look, I am the old bald-headed guy that wears a hat with a big old beard. I am not Santa Claus, but I do like to give out gifts.
Ho,
So
ho, ho.
I do have those around me too, hoes. But no, don't. Oh,
Ho,
God, don't let me.
ho, Merry Christmas.
But yeah, you can find us here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitch. You can also find me now on TikTok. And it's actually been really amazing. TikTok, I've now got over 616 followers, which I was surprised by. I just was like, okay, I guess they like to see a stupid country boy just do these stupid duets. But yes, it's a lot of fun. It's something to do when you're stuck at home and you have no else to do, but you talk to your wife for so long before she's like, please don't talk to me anymore. I want to go to sleep. So, and also we are, I guess if I step out there, Nikki will correct me. Our book did get put back. Our book's been published, but we will be doing book signings and doing that sometime in August and September, as long as everything kind of gets back to some type of normalcy. A lot of conventions, a lot of things that I was supposed to go to has been canceled. And I know a lot of the guys that are artists, which I want to talk about this later on. How did this quarantine affect us as creators and as fans? Before we get into that, though, I do want Solomon, you said you had some news today about some Transformers, or you want to share?
New releases and updates for some figures. Yeah.
Yes, knock yourself out, my man.
All right. So DNA Design, if you have their Mammoth, their big convoy from the Beast Wars line, they're releasing the big cannon, the Mammoth Fusion cannon for him from the Gearmaster line to take down the Predacons, Seacons. It comes with a Matrix and other accessories, and then a new cannon for him, which can store on the Beast mode. And then for another DNA Design, for the Gear Mastery set, for their Sentinel Prime and then their Bumblebee and then the Blackout, they're including it in one pack. Now Blackout, he's getting new hands. They just added this. They're adding wrist swivel onto the new hands for him. So you can now wrist swivel for the new hands, which is going to be posable now. And then for
that's nice.
Yeah. And then for Shockwave Labs, if you have Siege Megatron, you can now get the Mace add-on kit to give him like the mace like he had in the dam when he was fighting Optimus Prime. So you can get a mace attachment now. And Giga, it's a hard name. They're doing a Crossroads figure, which will be compatible. It looks like compatible with the Earthrise line. So like Soundberry, how he has the connections, you can form a big ramp with him. It's a hard name to pronounce.
So and some extensions to his. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Magic Square just showed pictures of their Doomsday, which is their legend scale Megatron. It comes with 3 faces: the Mind Control helmet, the mace, his sword, the gun that he used in the movie, and the silencer and a little Crimseek and interchangeable hands.
Now I did see that, and I do want to ask you this question, and because I did see that got released. Do you think that's kind of an overkill to have another Megatron?
Well, we do have a lot of Megatrons. Like, we just got the New Age one, now we're getting this one for Legends. So.
Yeah, and I know it's a different size scale and stuff, but it's just, I mean, I'm sometimes wondering if that's going to start being where it's going to too much of the same character starts to kind of cannibalizes the market.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, I saw that and I was like, really, do we need another Megatron? But hey, if it was my brother, he would be like, hey, I got to have another Starscream. It doesn't matter what Starscream's got to come out, I got to have him. So I'm like, oh, okay. Look, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, you're good. Magic Square just also showed off their cone heads and new pictures, and they should be releasing soon. So new cone heads from Magic Square Legend scale. And also Magic Square showed off their sound wall, aka their Sound Blaster. or the repaint of the Soundwave from G1, how he got damaged, destroyed, and then they brought him back into color scheme.
Yeah.
And Son of the Empire did a review of him too a few days ago, and it's also going to be coming out before Soundwave with a laser beak.
Okay.
So
Nice.
now for some that was just legend and upgrade kits. For TFC Toys, they're releasing their nuclear blast, which is their tactical commander with the red version, but now this is the green, and you get more parts. So if you have the original one, you can form a bigger base with them, with the original Optimus Prime they released for their TFC, their line. And Fans Hobby also showed off their Armada Megatron. They'll be working on that. It's just it's pictures, but you can see in robot mode, him in robot mode, and his tank mode. Everything is there from the show. And the MMC showed off their pictures for their trucks. It's their Grimlock stylized version of Grimlock. You can tell it's Grimlock. You can see the arms, the wings, the gun. You can tell it's the Grimlock from G1, just stylized version. And Zeta Toys just showed off their Fort Max, which looks like it's going to be a repaint of the Toy World Fort Max.
Okay.
It's going to be 23 centimeters tall with metallic paint. So it's basically going to be the Toy World version, just repainted again.
Just repainted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking about
as big as the Time classes.
Let's go back to also the Megatron for the Armada. When I saw that, and it wasn't until I was watching Optimus Wilbur, and he's been doing reviews on the Armada, and I came across a lot of Armadas. I got like 6 figures that's coming in that I got for like $20, and they've come in, and I was like, wow, this is really good quality. And that Megatron from the Armada line was a very dynamic Megatron. Do you think we're going to start seeing more of Armada now from third parties? Do you think that's the direction they'll eventually go to?
We could, because they also, Fans Hobby did show off their Optimus Prime, the Armada version. So.
And then from the Siege, we got the Optimus Prime and Hot Shot. Yeah.
Yeah, Hot Shot.
Hot Shot.
For Cybertron.
Mm-hmm. Any other good news?
I'll be right back in a minute, guys.
Sure thing, man. Sure thing.
I'm just letting you know. I'll be in a minute, all right?
Let's go in.
Okay. Yeah. Fans Toys just started off their D31D Smokey, which is their drag strip for their stunning line.
Okay.
So drag strip should be coming out in a few months from what it looks like. It looks somewhat similar to the X-Transbot version, just a little bit different in some of the areas. And also, there's a rumor for a Transformers Studio Series Devastator, but in a box set. So it's
a box set.
It's official, yeah. A box set with all the parts. So if you don't want to get them individually, now you can get them all in the box set.
From Hasbro?
I don't know the price of that. Yeah, but it's rumored. So
okay. So it could be a Tarkari
concept. You can get one.
The mall.
It looks like it has everything like the original stuff, but yeah. All the parts look the same, like on the original, on the regular modes.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. I'm still missing 3 for finishing the Studio Series one.
Yeah, I'm more than that. I only have 3, and I'm working on the others.
So, out of all the stuff that's coming out and the stuff that we're getting, what are you most excited about?
2 more stuff.
Oh, I'm probably
still
right here.
Things.
Yeah.
So there's a rumor for Transformers Earthrise Sleep Mode Optimus Prime. So you can get the version like when he was dying with the trailer and Prime in that color scheme. Like
the gray?
I'm about
in the movie. Yeah.
Cool.
There was just a picture of it, so we don't know if it's going to be official or not. Or it could be exclusive somewhere, like Hasbro Pulse exclusive or something else.
Oh, okay.
And there's also new pictures of the HasLab Unicron for robot. Well, for the top half of the robot mode, you can see the panel lining and the panel, and the robot mode just pictures, not the official.
Yeah, but it looks good
and unpainted. Yeah,
looks so good.
I wish I could afford that Unicron. That Unicron is cool and big and everything. And you can have him go fishing and everything.
He's a small baby. You literally, it's like having, I told Nick, I said, you always wanted a child. Well, let's get Unicron. He could be our baby. I'll let you put diapers on him if you want to for a while. And and stuff. He'll hold the cats. She's like, it's $600. I say, well, a real baby would have cost us more than $600. So, out of all that, what are you most excited about?
Probably, well, if I, that would be a hard one for that list.
Pick two.
Maybe like the Mesa add-on for the Siege Megatron, so that way it's more G1 accurate.
I think for me, I'm actually, yeah, I think for me, I'm more looking into that Armada looking Megatron, just to be for a third party to find, and now I'm starting to enjoy getting the Armada in, since I never did that line when it first came out. But I do like the character designs. I do like the way they look. And so that for me is something fresh and new from third party, and it's them branching out to the Armada line, and then you're like, okay, are we going to get the Cybertron trilogy, Energon, and all the other ones? Will we see the third parties go after those and do those? What do you think, Lord Starscream? Well, I mean, out of the stuff that's coming out, what are you excited about? And did you find out also just dealing with the toys that's being released?
Well, if I had the money to afford that Unicron, that I'm really excited about. And also the Armada Megatron, that also and the Armada line also. And I'm also looking for the original Armada Megatron also, because I have his Minicon.
Oh, do you? That's cool. Do y'all think though that we're finally kind of getting out of the G1 era? Are we seeing from third parties, and maybe even from Hasbro themselves, kind of starting to branch away from the G1? And if they are, does that make you excited, or does it just make you go, okay?
Well, to be honest, G1 is getting all the love and all that stuff. Like, there's more G1, and it feels like Armada, Energon, and Cybertron aren't getting enough love, especially like the Beast Wars and all that stuff. Like, they're only focusing on G1, that kind of thing.
We do have a question also, which is saying, how tall is the Megatron supposed to be? I guess at Armada. I guess if he's going to be like MP scale.
Yeah.
Isn't how like there's some MPs out there like that are Voyager scale and Leader class scale. Like, how big are you thinking for that Megatron? Because
I think you would have to be bigger than MP44.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the new Megatron from the movie line.
Well, yeah, I guess because Armada was, for the longest time, Armada Megatron was the biggest Megatron we ever had. Until the studio series, and I cannot remember for the life of me the size comparison between the two, if they were remotely close or if the studio series was considered bigger. Because I do know with the new Bumblebee movie, they said that Megatron's going to be in that movie, and he is going to be the biggest Megatron across the board from anyone we've ever had before.
Yeah, originally, like I brought up one time, Megatron was supposed to be in the Bumblebee movie, but I think from what I heard, Travis Knight described it like on Lord of the Rings. Like, I can't remember the name of the character. What was the name of the main bad guy in Lord of the Rings? Sordon or something like that?
Oh, Sordon.
Yeah, like that's how he was supposed to come in, like blowing everyone up and just wiping everyone out. But they cut it out because they didn't want to ruin continuity or something like that. Because they weren't sure if they wanted it a reboot or just that.
Yeah, I look at the fact that you got, and I want to talk about this too. There's a lot of things changing within the movies. One thing that we can all agree on is that during this pandemic, it's kind of affected us all in some shape, form, or fashion. With our Transformers and knowing that things have progressed, is changing, and Hollywood's changing, and I'm a big Godzilla fan, and found out today that it's gotten pushed back till next year, and I was a little upset about that, but I was like, I can understand. with the stuff that's going on and us being able to get our figures, has the pandemic messed up your buying habits? Has it made you change the way you're doing your collecting now?
Um,
Somas?
Go ahead.
It slowed it down for the with the pandemic releasing, slowing down with new figures coming out for third party or Hasbro, slowing it down. So
Because I mean, has it made it where you also kind of look at your collection and go, okay, this character here has more precedent over this character over here. Maybe later on I can find the character at the store whenever stores are back running the way they're supposed to. But right now I can get him, and I got to pay full price, but I'm willing to pay full price for him because I can get him right now. Has y'all's spending habits like that been affected by being stuck at home? Because I know for me it has, because typically I could go out and maybe find a deal. Now having to order everything and coming in over the line, I think that there's certain characters that are not that's on the back burner, and there's certain ones I'm purchasing right away. What about y'all?
Oh, you go first, man.
yeah, like some figures seem delayed on the back burner. So new Transformers
Um,
are coming out.
yeah.
Well, you also have the okay. You got the stuff with things being pushed back, and the Bumblebee movie itself, the sequel, is slated to come out in 2022 now.
Mm,
Next month, we're supposed to be getting the Siege on Netflix.
and
She-Ra.
still no word about it.
Yeah, and there's no artwork or nothing like that coming out. And I know that the company was having issues, and I know that Netflix has had to change how they do voice acting, especially if it's going to be dubbed over with English. They've had to change what they're doing there. Like Ghost in the Shell came out, and I was fine with it being in original Japanese because I'm that way with the original Ghost in the Shell. Now it has finally got fully dubbed, but it got released before it was fully dubbed due to the fact that they want to protect the voice actors from the coronavirus. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering from y'all's side of things, do you see that you as a collector, um, you're seeing your stuff that you're being more cautious with your money on what you want to get, or you're looking for the better deals, or is your spending habit still the same?
Mine is still the same.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. What about
Yeah.
you?
Mine is still the same, but usually I try to look for deals on Amazon and all that stuff. Like for an example, Earthrise Starscream was going for like $41 or something like that, and I didn't want to pay that much for a Voyager. I'll pay $30, and since they dropped them to $29 one time on Amazon, that's when I bought them.
It's like Firebite in the comments, and then if you're want to be where you could be a part of the comments during our podcast, just go to right now Autocrat Primer, and we'll have that rotate. But it'll be under the banner a community for all of us. But he brought up a thing saying that it has made his habits improve. He's actually done some sales to some of his figures. Is that something that you've looked at doing yourself to purge down your collection, maybe selling some of them off, or is that like a big no-no? You want to keep everyone you have?
Yeah, I'll probably keep every figure that I have because like some of them are older and you don't know if you'll get new molds of them. So
What about you,
Yeah.
Lord Starscream?
Yeah, that goes for me too. I like that, and also my wife, she recommends me keeping all my figures and all that stuff. She wouldn't let me sell any of them and all that. Yeah,
Nick,
I'm the type of person that keep my figures or something like that. Like if there's a figure I see and I don't want, like, nah, I'll pass on it. I won't waste my money on it.
well, for me, I keep all my Transformers. I have other things that I do have that I will sell off, and they don't. There is more at the moment at the time. I saw it, I liked it, and then it kind of got put to a side of a box. But Transformers automatically come out of the box. But one of the spending habits that changed for me is that when we started having some of this thing coming down, dealing with us not being able to get out as much, and with Nikki having the kidney issues she has, we had to be extremely cautious. I've not seen my nieces now going on 2 months, and that's the longest I've never seen them, along with my sister. And one of the things I did is I did a lot of pre-orders from Amazon and from Big Bad Toy Store. As things were trickling down and things were, my money was going to have to go in other directions, I canceled some pre-orders. And in doing so, I canceled my Sentinel Prime, I canceled my Jeep Bumblebee, my Cliff Jumper, but I made sure I kept my Earthrise Wheeljack, my Earthrise Cliff Jumper, my Earthrise Hoist. Now, because I waited, I'm now getting Sentinel Prime for like $26, and I'm getting the Bumblebee for $15. And because I waited on that, I'm seeing a better deal. But on the flip side is that I'm not finding anyone that's got the Cliff Jumper from the Bumblebee movie. Bumblebee.
Oh, I don't think he's. When is he slate to release? Because I think he's still on pre-order or something like that.
Yeah, well, hasn't never actually released yet. So
yeah, because Amazon says they're out of stock, and I saw the Big Bad Toy Store was doing this, but they're charging, I think it's $22 for him. Yeah, so it's like 21 or 22. I can't remember at the moment, but it was one of those, and I was like, I think I can wait a little bit on him. Then, so for me, that's how it has changed my spending habit, because typically I would go to shows and do artwork, do other little things, have a little bit of extra income in that area, and then turn around and it would go towards my hobby. But because all those things have been, ended, because everything's getting canceled, it did make me change my habits on what I'm going to get and what I'm not going to get. I am saved up for, and I told Nikki, I said I still want it. That's the Omega Supreme. Well, I still want that one so bad. But yeah, thanks. 80 says Earthrise was a good choice. ACP, appreciate that. Yeah, I thought so too. I love him, and now he's got that new add-on kit. I don't know if y'all saw that. Cliff Jumper has the part where you can now take the pin out. Yeah, I think MGO.
Yeah, MGO did a review of that. That's what I saw.
Really good.
And also I was going through Instagram, and the Jeep Bumblebee, we all know he had the doors on the back in the movie and all that. Or they have a little kit or something like that you could clip on his back and give him the doors.
Oh, that's cool. A little add-on there.
Yeah.
I'm more like, well, it depends, because I got a lot of Bumblebees. I do have some that's still in their alt mode and some in the robot mode. I don't know yet. I'll have to get it in hand and see how he does, because Shatter right now, she's staying in her robot mode and her car is going to be in the vehicle mode. Because
have her pose her with her foot on top of the car and just kind of doing something kind of like that.
Just chilling. And I was right there. So lucky. I was talking to Lord Starscream. He was showing off his, and that night I went on and it became available on Amazon, and I went ahead and grabbed her when I did, and I'm glad I did. I ended up getting it at the same time I was getting the things for the giveaway that we had for the channel, and so I got her for almost the same price as I did the hot rod, which I was very surprised to find hot rod. Out of the choice, though, do y'all think that which line do you think for Hasbro is the better line? Studio Series?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say the names. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you do it, my man. Take it over.
So which is the better line, Studio Series or Earthrise? Well, you go first, man, on what you think.
No. This is all you. I've talked enough.
You go first.
What are you giving me your channel now?
You take it, man. Take it. Run with it. Go for it.
Well, to be honest, I think Earthrise seems to be good. Some of Earthrise and Studio Series figures do have good quality, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they're pretty good and all that. and have pretty good figures and all that.
Which one do you like the best, Solomus?
Well, probably Earthrise, because now you obviously can get the blast effects to give it the effect that they're actually firing
Yeah.
or taking damage.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I did not register in my head till you said that. It does. I have come to like thinking that all Hasbro should come with those blast effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. The blast effects are pretty cool and a nice add-on.
For me, for a while there, I never got a movie Transformer figure. I did when the Bumblebee movie came out because he was finally going to be a Volkswagen, so I got him that way. I did get Bumblebee throughout the movies because Nikki and I love like Bumblebee. But the studio series came out, and I was like, man, the quality and the articulation and the figures just look so much better than Combiner Wars, better than Titan Masters, better than Power Masters, better than. And I was like, easily for me to go and buy Studio Series figures because they, to me at the time, were a more superior line. Do you think that's something that Hasbro took a look at? Because I mean, really, it was Tony Conner that did the Studio Series, and now they're the ones that's also doing the Siege and the Earthrise. Is that because the sales for Studio Series was doing better than the other lines? What do y'all think? Oh, now we're quiet. No, wait.
Here.
I know, it's like
I lost the quiet game. I'm
like, I threw it out there. It's like, oh, it's silent.
It's gonna come back like this.
Hey, we can wait a second. Do it like that, and then we have Solomus to be our whole head. We have combined. I am the arm.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, wait. Hold on, where's my? Oh, yeah, here we are. Yeah, let me go. There we go.
But speaking of that, you were talking about earlier, dealing with all the add-ons that's coming out and all the extra little bells and whistles for the figures. Do you think that's become a commonplace that automatically, if you're going to want to get a figure, immediately you're looking for an add-on kit shortly after you see it? What do you think about that? Do you think that the Transformers should have as much add-on kits, or should Hasbro really be putting out the characters without needing the add-on kits? Don't talk too fast, guys. Nobody can hear y'all. Y'all speaking so fast. It's like boom. It's like you broke the sound barrier.
Here, let's do it like this. Like instead of like for like who's gonna talk first? Like we'll start like from 1 to 3, like starting with ACP and you and then me and all that. Like from first to last, that kind of thing. That ought to work better.
I just want y'all to say something. I'm like, I don't care. Y'all talk over me. But in all honesty, going back, and I want to start with you, Solomus, on this one. Do you buy a lot of add-on kits?
Some of them to make the figures look more movie accurate or more accurate to what they were originally designed.
Yeah.
And on that note, do you think is it automatic that you're thinking, well, the character's going to come out, it's not going to look exactly the way it did in the movies, so I have to find an add-on kit? Or do you think that Hasbro should be making the figures look screen accurate so we wouldn't have to buy the add-on kits? What's your thoughts about that?
They could make a screen accurate like they did with Earthrise Prime, like they added the fillers so that way you didn't see the gap for the hands.
But we even had gaps that was for Megatron was one. Soundwave was another one that had gaps that we had to get an add-on kit. Impactor was another one, and that was before we saw them technically screen accurate. Those had already come out to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
Because we are looking at the fact that Hasbro had said for a while there that they were going to raise their prices on their figures. because they were going to need to. But Hasbro actually is kind of like absorbed however they did it. They kind of absorbed that price. They kept a price cap with the figures that we have now. Do you think the reason why they did that is because they knew third party was going to come out and the people who's not satisfied with that figure would get satisfied by buying a third party?
Yeah.
What do you think, Lord Starscream? What do you think about add-on kits?
Well, to be honest, when I got in the Studio Series line, when I got Jetfire and Optimus Prime, the two that combined, have you seen the add-on kit for that? To make them accurate? Well,
no, I have not.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about buying the add-on kit for that, but since I didn't want to leave them together, I just left them as their own separate figure. And the Masterpiece movie Ironhide, I wanted to get the upgrade kit for that, like to hold the cannon things in place instead of them flopping around, and hold the chest in place instead of just falling and all that. But I didn't buy the upgrade kits. But now, since they have Studio Series Sentinel Prime out, all he comes is a double-bladed sword. But now they're releasing an upgrade kit with the shield, the gun, and a new sword.
That's true. He does come with the shield.
And Blackout new hands that can actually move. You can give Blackout new hands now.
Yes, and be the shoulder cannons from the first movie.
Yeah, and
gap fillers too.
Yeah, and also you can give Blackout a new helicopter blade too that just stores on the bottom of the belly of the helicopter.
Yeah, and two miniguns and that chest cannon.
Yeah, I thought he came with the chest cannon. Sheesh.
Nope.
Okay, then I guess I have to go back and watch the reviews then. And also, you can get, and Bumblebee has like silver pieces for the inside of his legs.
Yeah, and the shoulder cannons, which he did use in the first movie in the final fight.
Yeah, against Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that add-on kits, especially with Impactor, and I haven't bought a add-on kit. I've always held off on doing it because I know that's a rabbit hole if I go down to it. And by the way, welcome TFN Geek and Eddie and Got Bot. Oh, y'all, it was still with us. Because I know once I go down that rabbit hole, then I'm going to look at trying to get every, because it's part of my OCD, I'll try and get every add-on kit to add on to the Transformers to make them have that accuracy. The thing too, though, is that like Impactor, I understand why people got the add-on kit for that, because there was no sense in him having that much gouge in his legs. It just didn't make sense to me for it to be like that. The other thing too, though, is we're taking a look at stuff that's coming out now, and we are seeing artwork and pictures coming out, and we are seeing a lot of the characters from Earthrise getting some gaps in there in the figures. I mean, I know a lot of people had issues with the forearms on Megatron, and I was the one that had issues with the head that kept going into his chest.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make your stream bigger.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, there's some gaps on the back and in his legs right there, and yeah, and his thigh right there.
Yeah. And seeing that, I get it. I understand why people are like, okay, I want to get an add-on kit for that. I just put him at the back of the wall.
Cannon too. A new cannon that's articulated and can go any direction instead of just side to side and all that.
And then with that is an add-on kit that does take the character to another level. I was looking at I got Rack and Ruin that came in, and I was playing around with him, and he has so many hinges, he has so many things, and I'm very surprised by how much articulation he has. He just doesn't have anything in his heads. They don't move at all. I liked it. I watched MGOs the other day. He was not so much for it as I was, but I was looking at something that Hasbro was finally listening to the fans saying, look, if you're going to have a character that's going to be the size, even if you give us ball joints, I want it to have articulation. And when you're looking at Hasbro, you're seeing that they are starting to listen to the fans. But at the same time, we're still having to buy those extra add-on kits to get that accuracy that we're looking for. Do you think it's just that we're never going to be satisfied with what Hasbro puts out, or do we always going to be, because it is Transformers, and there's always possibility to upgrade your character? That's something we'll always do.
Yeah. It's kind of like a video game. If you're playing a character, you have the option to either upgrade them or level them up, that kind of thing. So if you buy the figure, you have an option. You could either keep it as it is or upgrade it and give it new stuff and all that.
So you're saying, like, when you're playing a video game,
it's an option. It's an option. Yeah.
And you can buy extra kits for the game to help, like, or more maps or so on, kind of like what I got suckered into when I was in Fallout. Every time my billfold was getting less and less because I was buying everything that I wanted for Fallout. Do you think that that's just the mindset of the fans? Is that, okay, I'm cool if we get an add-on kit? Or you just think that...
But I don't have... Yeah, like if you buy the figure and there's an upgrade kit, you have the option. You could, like I said, you could keep the figure as it is, or you could get the upgrade kit, but you have the option not to buy it and just keep your figure as it is, that kind of thing. You're not being forced to buy it. It's an option.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a very good point. It's an option, yeah. And you know, you can make the choice to, yes, I want to get it, or no, I don't want to get it. But let's take a look at Cliff Jumper that came out with Earthrise. A lot of people have issues that his parts forming because his backpack comes off and, you know,
and becomes the shield.
Yeah, and becomes the shield. That really doesn't bother me, because I'm like, okay, I like him. I think he's a really good figure.
Yeah.
But they did give us a whole bunch of little add-on things. I mean, his skis, his gun can go into a big rocket launcher or several handheld guns. So Hasbro, in a way, with him, kind of gave us already the accessories that we would have bought from third party. If Hasbro goes away from, and this is the one thing I want y'all to think about, especially for the next time, I want us to talk about scale. Do you think scale is going to matter after Earthrise is done, and the final part with the Unicron? Do you think that Hasbro will still stick with yes, we're going to deal with the size variation, or throw it completely out? Because Armada, you know, it just depends on the cartoon on how big they were drawn. What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, like different heights for different scale. Like Siege Magnus, he's supposed to be a little bit bigger like he was in the show, in the G1 show, and instead of smaller like he is. Bigger than the others.
And you got the Netflix version of Ultra Magnus.
Yes.
And I saw that there's an add-on kit that can make it where his legs can...
The DNA design.
Yeah. Yes. Are you thinking about getting that for him?
Maybe. It literally has the same paint scheme as him, just to make him a lot more taller for the combined mode, instead of the same height how he was. And that one does come with a hammer and an axe, too.
Yes. What's that, Lord Sorcerer?
Real quick, like, you might have to make me... All right, this is if you just get the Optimus, all right, hang on. If you just get the Optimus Prime and the Jetfire, that's what he's going to look like right there. But if you get the upgrade kit, let me see if I can find a picture of it. All right, hang on.
And what he's showing us right now is something from his phone, guys. And if you want to be a part of the live streams, we do that. And this will be up on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Tunes, and I can't remember what the other ones I listed us for on the podcast, but he's showing where you had Jetfire combined with the movie Optimus Prime, and there's add-on kits that you can make him bigger.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. There we go. Okay. Yeah. If you remember what he looked like and all that, And if you buy the add-on kit for him, you can have him look a little more accurate, like he has extra wings and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the movie actor, with the cannon.
Canon.
The really
Yeah,
giant cannon.
And for Jetfire, you could give him articulated hands instead of him holding the cane like that. Like it's just sitting there. You can actually
Now, and that's cool. I want to get this question since we are coming up to almost 45 minutes to almost the hour mark. We have a question coming out from Alpha Prom 88. I want to make sure I put this up on the screen for everybody can see it. It says, what obscure character would each of you like to get in the line the next? I think I'll let y'all go first. I'll go first. I want to hear y'all's first. Go ahead, Solmus.
Maybe the DJG, so we can get actual figures of those from Hasbro.
And what about you, Lord Starscream? Which obscure character would you like to see Hasbro bring out?
After Earthrise or during Earthrise?
Yeah, during the Earthrise line.
Any figure or something like that?
Yeah, any figure.
I would like to see how they would do Galvatron, to be honest.
Okay, instead of what we got with the Titans. Me, I think what I would like to see is a Rack and Ruin for the Earthrise. I would like, as much as I like the one that came out for the Cyberverse, I would really like to see, if there's a way they could do it where their bodies could pull apart, put back together, connect, stuff like that. And if it's a parts former like you have with Ironworks to make it work for him, I'm totally down with that. Well, guys, we are coming to the very end of the show. Before we go, I want, again, Solmus, tell people where they can find you, and then Lord Starscream, you'll be next.
You can find me on YouTube under Solmus44, where I'll do Transformer reviews and other stuff. Solmus44 Gaming, for where I do gaming videos. Twitch Solmus44 for other live gaming videos.
Awesome. Now you, Lord Starscream, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Lord Starscream. I plan on doing Transformers reviews and doing live streams in the future and all that. And you can find me on Instagram at Lord Starscream C53 and on TikTok at Lord Starscream C53. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, I'm ACP, and thank you so much for being with us with a community for all of us. This was our very first podcast. There are things that we'll be bringing up, some people that we both want to have as guests, and we'll be having that. And I think we're shooting for Mondays for us to do this on Mondays. So you can also watch us live here on YouTube under Autocrat Primer, and then also Solmus and Lord Starscream will have a copy of it so they can have it up on their platforms. You can find me wherever you type in Autocrat Primer, boom, I am there. I am like, the good neighbor. I'm always there. And so with that, thank you all so much, guys, for hanging out with me. Thank everyone that was in the chat that brought up some great questions, a lot of things that y'all came up with. Thank you for being a part of our first episode. This was I enjoyed it. I hope y'all did too. And there's some things that we're learning, and I think from there, I think we're done. Anybody want to go ahead and do the awkward song, since I did the button is several seconds before it ends? Who wants to do it? Go ahead. This time I'm gonna let Lord Starscream do it. Sing us out, boy.